Hi, Kevin Coop here, and this is FaceTime with the Content Guy. Still in Portland, Oregon, and I'd like to this week tell you about a case of customer service that I think is done absolutely right. The retailer in question is called Salt and Straw, which is a celebrated and much hyped ice cream parlor here in the Portland area. They have 3 stores, and they're known for really, really good ice cream, and especially for sort of really interesting flavors. Well, the other day I was coming back from a meeting and getting a bite to eat, and I was walking along 23rd Street, and there's a Salt and Straw there, and I saw something which you don't see very often at Salt and Straw. There was no line. So, Mrs. Coop didn't raise no dummy, so I ran across the street and said, okay, I'm going to get some ice cream. It was calling out to me like a siren from the rocks. Now, the thing about the Salt and Straw is there's always lines, right? There's a lot of demand for it here in Portland. So quite frankly, the people who work there, if they wanted to be, they could be like the soup Nazi, right, from New York City and Seinfeld fame. They could be brusque, they could be demanding, they could be a little bit of mean, they could be a little bit abusive, they could be totally boorish, but they're not. And I don't know if it's because they're in Portland or not, but they are absolutely wonderful, no matter how long that line is. What happens is the people who work there will come out from behind the counter, and they will, they'll greet you, they'll be nice to you, they'll say, hi, how you doing? What would you like to sample today before you get up to the counter? And it doesn't matter how many people are behind you, and and they will bring you out spoons with various kinds of ice cream. You can taste pretty much anything in the place. And and I asked the guy who was working there the other day, and I said, how do you do this? How come you guys aren't a little bit, more quick about trying to get people through and turn people through? And he goes, sir, this is an ice cream parlor. It's supposed to be fun. Well, you can't really argue with that. I think this is a really good lesson for retailers. There's never any excuse to be abrupt with consumers. No matter how long the lines are, no matter how mounting the pressures happen to be, there is no reason to be abrupt or abusive or anything less than cheerful, even if you have to fake it. Because here's the thing. It is my experience that if people behind the counter are upbeat and cheerful and charming, it actually is kind of catching. Okay, I'm at the Salt and Straw, right? I taste my ice creams, and I decide what I'm going to have is a cone of goat cheese, Marionberry habanero, just my favorite flavor that they make. So I get my samples, and they hand me my cone, and I go up to pay the bill, and the woman behind the cash register says, sorry, sir, you've been paid for. What do you mean I've been paid for? I'm thinking I'm having a content guy moment here, right? She says, no, I'm sorry, the woman over there paid for you. And I look over, and there's a woman sitting there with a bunch of kids, and I have no idea who she is. So I say, really? So I go over to the woman, and I say, there must be some mistake here. The woman behind the counter said you paid for my ice cream. And she said, she said, I had a gift certificate. And by the time I paid for everybody's ice cream, there was one ice cream cone left, so I thought I'd buy yours. I mean, wow. I'll bet you that doesn't happen very much at the Soup Nazi's place. Maybe it's Portland, but I think it's really Salt and Straw. I think it's just just a feeling of customer service and sort of people being happy that is sort of catching and contagious. And I think it's something we all can aim for. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this Thursday morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.